think I missed both of them. The lower calf there on the hill was up above where the upper one is. Mama cow was up there too. He comes around the corner up there, bucking and kicking and jumping and spinning in circles, then stops. Then the one up above comes from behind the tree. Yeah, missed it. Story of my life. I didn't even know those calves were up there. I knew the cow was. Kind of scattered out this morning. Another one hiding there. I think there's another one behind the trees. I didn't realize there was a calf there underneath that tree by the creek. And I didn't realize there was two cows there instead of just one. And God knows where the rest are back there. And the birdies are really active this morning. A little chilly. It's like 42. Brr. That's why it's all a fuzz on the screen. There's some ground fog up there. Kind of hard to see on there though. Yeah, see it there. Shows up better over there. Not quite as not quite as heavy as it really is over in there, but it shows up better. Number two goes for walks once in a while in the evening, checks calves, that kind of thing. She came in the other night and she says, "Hey, Dad, you got some birdies with some issues." Well, apparently some of the baby birds here, you don't understand. You don't jump out of the nest. There were 4 of them laying down here, she said, by where the cows go in and out. Yeah, she said one of them was already done for. 2 of them didn't look like they were going to make it. The other one, if we came out and saved it, well, which nest did it come out of? And she said you couldn't get close to it because there's like 40 birds coming down to check on it. Oh, I should have had the camera moved a little bit. Rainy had her nose over there. He came and checked her out. There's one of the newest ones. Hey kid, you got a milky nose. And it's not coming in this morning on the camera. It looks fuzzy from here. Yeah, Mama's going to worry about Rainy. She knows there's no reason to. Yeah, I figured I keep getting a glimpse of everybody here, but nobody up close. So, a little up closeness today. 321A. Yeah, how you doing, bud? Yeah, ignore the ugly looking top on the salt and mineral feeder. Then there's Lena. She seems to be a camera hog, doesn't she? And speaking of Lena, there's her calf. Oh, and Boomer sticking her head in the feeder there, getting ready to. And Dino, he's got him a few too many flies on him. They're really on him. I mean, I know we got flies. I didn't realize we had that many. He's black on the back. Yeah, must be time to do something about him now. One of these tubs, actually 2 of these. I think it's that one in the middle and this one are the fly control, which they seem to be helping. Because really, there's a few scattered on her back, but not a lot. Bulls always seem to attract them. I don't know why. And I thought that the back rubbers were out. This one's on a frame, so it goes back against the wall, but it comes over the opening. The one on the other, for the other group too. And that's one of the things that Mom always does, is keeps the back rubbers charged and ready. I guess that's one more thing she's not taking care of. So, one more thing somebody else has got to pay attention to. It is what it is. I just wasted 5 minutes of your morning. Morning, everybody. Oh, that name of the one I couldn't think of yesterday was Eeyore. I don't know which one of that. That one should be Eeyore. This one's Grumpy. If y'all remember her from last year. And this one's one of the Ruby lookalikes, but it's not her. So I don't know. Ruby must be over on the other side. I step on something and try to fall on my butt. Yeah, number one gets here with some out of the bolts so we can work on that tractor. See, I told her I hadn't fed yet. Well, can you help me? Well, nobody ever helps me. Yeah, so I helped her.
Hey, girl.
And she does one thing I don't do. She's been sneaking a little grain right there for the calves, and not all of them are in here. I know there's about 3 or 4 of the normal ones are in here, though. The others are in between mommies, and then of course you get one like down there by the wall, just laying there, doesn't care. This little girl here, she's looking for something. She's gonna come right in, just like that. But yeah, I'm gonna guess that that big one almost looks like a heifer from here, though.
No, it's Bubby.
The one up in the top?
That's Bubby. The top one is a heifer.
That's what I thought. That big heifer. Next to Curly.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's Buddy here. And the one with the white tick on her back. That should be 023.
That's heifer.
So, yeah, you see some familiar ones, huh? Okay, well, we still got the other bunch to feed. And listen to the dogs complain. Old Tanker boy over there draining. That's what I call Blue, is Tanker. When we lived in town, him and Red would be locked in all day long when we were gone. It could be an 8-hour day. Neither one would make a mess in the house. You'd let Blue out. He'd stand out in the yard. 10 minutes, a steady flow. It's like, my God, dog, you're not that big. How do you hold 20 gallons of water?
He's like his mommy. His mommy.
Oh, yeah, and Rainy's good. I think she's had 1 or 2 accidents in the house over the years, but not bad. Hey, who are you?
It's Amy.
It is Amy, isn't it? I didn't recognize you from that angle. Yeah, that Amy. And everybody else in here.
Dino, pick your spot, dude.
Dino's been stupid lately. He hasn't been picking his spot like he should. What do you know? There's Boomer. Can't miss her.
Bye, Boomy.
People say, oh my God, you can't feed your dogs regular dog food with cereal grains in it. Why not? That's what they eat. Boomer must have ate too much grass last night, or she spent too much time eating the hay. She hadn't ate very much grain. And Dino, he's just gonna sniff butts. He was sniffing the shorter one, and this one just walked in here, so he's got to check her out. And these poor babies, they don't get a chance to get any grain over here. So we've got to get the creep feeders out and get some feed ground, but hey, it all takes time. And she's looking outside. Right before I turn this back on, I noticed hear a couple mooing out there. They're being stupid. They're standing right at the gate, just inside the feed barn, looking this way, bellering. Hey, they snooze, they lose. And I don't know why Boomer thinks she can come over here and have a private breakfast. What do you think, Boomer? Huh? What do you think? We do get a few calves that when they're, he'll sneak up and get a little. Of course, that's the highest part of the feeder. And see, dog toys are still in the feeder. There and there.
My dog's a Nimrod, okay?
Yeah, they all are.
Mine drops the damn toys in
Blue will have a toy in his mouth, stand over the feeder, and bark at a cow.
He'll have 3 of them in his mouth.
He's actually had 2 or 3 of those toys, and it's like, really, dude? Oh, well. Hopefully that's enough cow for today. Hey, well. See if I can hold still, right? Look into the light. Then you can't see anything over there now. You already saw him, right? And even after number one put a handful of grain in there, Boomer stepped that far forward.
Boomy, you're being spoiled.
And that's where she's going to stand.
Boomy.
Oh, well. I'd mentioned that I was using this last night. And actually it came original with a regulator on it. Always had trouble with it with the regulator on it because it would choose not to work. Never figured out why. Oh yeah, and this says max. We're going to try it because that was the only thing Napa actually had. For some reason, they didn't have any Permatex.
That's because they had a fucking pack on them. They had like 50 of them that already flew off the shelf.
Anyway, I took this thing apart, I think 6 times last night. I could get it to go at about right there. It'd go and then quit. Sit there and play with it, and you get it to do it, but it wouldn't keep running. This O-ring actually goes in about here, and I understand what it's there for. It's to seal the air so it doesn't get passed through here. So it has to go through the valving inside. Problem is, it's not thick enough to seal against here. This morning, I'm thinking, yeah, it isn't doing anything in there. So I took it out. I thought maybe it went in a different spot. Couldn't fit there. Thought maybe it'd go here, but there's no recess in this piece for it. So all it did was roll it out when I screwed it on. Duh. Without it in there, sucker doesn't miss a beat. I played with it for probably half an hour. Wouldn't miss a beat. Told number one to try it out this morning. She played with it for about 5 minutes and could not get it to not work. And it doesn't leak. So, that's our story on that. I love that little thing, though. It's awesome.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Somebody stole half our parts. And used half a tube of silicone. Oh, hell. I don't know what to think. Oh, hey, wait. By the magic of video, those all jumped right in there. You believe that? If you believe that, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona I'd like to peddle. Cash is fine if you're interested. So, some are going to say I did a no-no. Guess what? F you. It's going to work. Used a little tube end on the silicone and I filled the weep holes just till it came through on the inside. I'm going to wipe that one off yet. We just did that one. Number 5, since it had the deficiencies. Rather than lubricating it with, we're using more or less dielectric grease for that. It's not petroleum based, it's silicone based. It's one of the many things that a lot of people use. So no moaning and groaning about that, John Deere fans who think I got to use John Deere soap for $35 a quart and only use about 4 ounces out of it, if that. We did the third O-ring in that weep hole groove. It was coated with silicone and then put into that groove. On number 5, we did the whole works with silicone. We did it first and then worked around it, which was kind of a pain in the ass, but because realistically, when you're putting those grooves in, like for number 1, it worked really nice to put my hand in the number 2 hole and reach through and hold the O-ring and run it in with my other hand. The extra groove we filled, those O-rings were coated with silicone and put in the groove. The other 2, of course, I used the dielectric grease on them and put them in and then smeared dielectric grease all over. When we test fit, number 6, just on a test fit, we had to take that damn one back out with the puller. And yeah, without shims, we are right at spec for the height difference right here. So I'm good with that. The other ones had shims, so they had to be over height. There's no 2 ways about it, because I measured that ridge on the old ones and the new ones, and they're all identical. So anyway, they are in. We literally just finished, and it's time for lunch. So, and of course, number 1, she's got
got to go do her food bank thing. So that's what she's going to go. She's getting cleaned up so she can go take care of that this afternoon. And I guess that leaves me to clean crank journals up down below and start putting pistons in. Ain't the first time I've done it by myself. It's a lot easier on a stand if you're by yourself, but you know, 'tis what it is. And the one thing that still kind of baffles me, of course, it was probably before we changed the transmission and rear end in this thing. So it may be a little different bell housing, but I don't know. But I swear to God, when we worked on this thing years ago, I mean, we adjusted valves on it. I remember doing that. I swear to God, you could get right onto the ring gear with a bar and turn it. And you kind of can, but not very well. So, but there it is. And yeah, it better be good, because I, for one, definitely do not want to be the poor bastard to try to take it apart if it ever comes apart again. But as clapped out as everything was, I think it'll run a hell of a long time. The only thing I've been having a hard time with is when we get it together and we got to put it under load. It's like, what am I going to put behind it? We may end up hooking it to another tractor and dragging another tractor down the road. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking we're going to end up doing, because there's nothing to put on it. So anyway, I'm going to get some lunch. Through the first 16 minutes, you'll notice I ran out of parts. I mean, I got some used ones there and parts for other stuff, but I ran out of parts. Not out of things to do yet, though. They are in. The nice thing is, you know, when you're working with a 6-cylinder, it's easy to do 2 at a time. So, and the way it worked out, center 2 were the first 2. Then the end 2. And yeah, that's the one I just finished. Number 5. And I don't know why the top of that piston's dirty, but it is. Anyway, they are all in. There's kind of a mess to clean up. They are not torqued. They're run up rather loosely with the 3/8 impact. But everything's there. As the frickin' oil is now dripping down, because, hey, you know what happens when you smear that stringy, gooey assembly lube on everything, and it's 85 frickin' degrees out, it makes little strings as it reaches its way to, hopefully, on most of the paper towels and not on the floor. Yeah, that's going to be an issue for a while, but we won't be working underneath once we get them torqued. And I did kind of lie, and I remember trying before and it didn't work. You can get a bar in on an angle and catch the ring gear, but man, it seems like it was more accessible. Get the right spot, you can see the ring gear. There it is. Seems like it was more accessible before, but I don't know. Still a long ways to go, but we're this far. So I'm going to throw a rag over it and call it good for the night. Besides that, it's past beer o'clock. It's almost beer 30. So thank you for watching, everybody. Oh, hey, and at the bottom of the box that we had the cap bearings in, I found the destruction sheets. Not that I necessarily need them. I mean, a little refresher once in a while. We're going to be checking the injector clearance right here. It says it all about that fancy bearing. It's like, yeah, maybe I should read some of the shit they send. That was buried in a bunch of stuff, so, you know, I wasn't exactly looking for it. That piece of paper actually should have been in the box with those bearings. That would have made sense with the thrust bearing, but, you know, they don't always make sense. Anyway, thanks for watching.